Okay, so y'all can see here now that I have done about 17 rows of the Harley Davidson pattern. Of course, I didn't do the sides of it, but I've done up to about from here to here. So as you can see, I only did the yellow and red on this part of the afghan. I didn't do it on this part because I wanted to show you how to do cross stitch over here. But first, I'm going to show you how to sew in these loose ends. So let me go ahead and set the camera down real quick. I'm still working with my camera angles here to try and get this to be a little bit better view for you so that you can see what I'm doing. So first of all, I'm going to use a tapestry hook. It's ones with the big eyes. Hopefully you can see that. And they usually have kind of a dull end, although you can get them with pointier ends, which sometimes make it a little easier when you're going through thick fabric. So what I usually do, because it's a little hard to just stick yarn through, I'm going to unravel this a little bit and kind of flatten it out. And then I'm going to kind of put my hook up there and really flatten it out as much as possible, and then pull it very tightly off of here. And then you can sort of push it through the eye of the needle. Pull it through. So we want to, when you're weaving in, you want to hide the color of the thread behind things as much as you possibly can. So I'm going to kind of try and get in between the two stitches. And as you can see, you can't really see the needle through there. Start kind of trying to get it in between here and weave it in there. I'm going to go up a little bit more, and then I'm going to come back down again. Kind of try and get it anchored in there as good as possible so that it won't unravel later on. Come back through again, trying to get it in between the stitches. Okay, and then you can, depending on how long your end is, you could probably pull it through more if it's longer. This one's rather short. So then just try to clip it a little bit lower than stitches there, kind of pull it up and pull on it, and then that makes it go away. I'll go ahead and do it a couple more times. I've got some orange strings hanging off here. So again, what I do, unravel the yarn, flatten it out, and kind of squish it down on there, and then push it up through the eye. So if the orange, since there's more orange here, I can kind of go back and forth a little bit more. You can go up and down and through, and just really try and anchor it really well so you don't get it unraveling, especially if you decide you want to wash this. That's when you really have trouble with things unraveling. Pull it through a few more places. Okay, and then I'll just go ahead and cut it off. So like I said, you sort of pull it up a little bit and try and get your scissors down as close as you can and snip it off so that you don't have any ends hanging out. Okay, so now I'm going to take the yellow yarn. I'm just going to go ahead and leave a little tail here for weaving in. And then I'll go ahead and unravel some off of my bobbin so I can use it for cross stitching. So if you've ever done counted cross stitch, I can't talk today, counted cross stitch, this is very similar to that because you have to count the number of squares and you count the number of stitches across in order to do this. So I'm going to try and bring the pattern in a little bit closer here so you can see it a little better, hopefully. So you can see this yellow band here that's going up. So this is about, see, here's the black part and here's another black part. And so you can see this stitch, these stitches right here correspond to these stitches. If we can see that, can you see those stitches there? This right here corresponds to these, and you can see there's a little break right about here, and then some more black. So here's the break, and here's some more black. And then these stitches over here correspond to these stitches here. So I'm going to be doing the yellow in between here. So, get my pen. So the yellow stitches start on the second line of where the oranges begin. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 stitches of orange, and then there's the ninth one is yellow. So I'm going to go ahead and count to the ninth stitch of orange on my crochet work, and that's where I'm going to start with my first cross stitch. So this is the first row here. We can see the little V's. This is the second row with the upside down V's. When you can see the right side up V's, that means that's the front of the stitch, and the upside down V's are actually the backs of the stitches. So that's the second row. So I'm going to count to the ninth stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right here is where I'm going to do it. I'm just going to stick my pen there so I remember. I'll go ahead and thread my needle. So I'm not going to put a knot in this. I'm going to leave a tail just like I would if I were crocheting it. So okay, so I have the space marked, and I've got my needle threaded. So I'm going to go ahead and insert the hook here at the bottom of the stitch, and then I'm going to go up to the top. You see there, I'm doing that. And pull it through, and then I'm going to leave a tail because I'm going to have to weave this in later. And then I go to the opposite corner. See, I can go to the bottom corner, and then I push it through to the top. So that's going to make a diagonal line. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is go down to the opposite corner from here and go ahead and go up. So I'm just going to put it in there for right now. Let's look at the pattern real quick. So you can see here something to point with. This is the first stitch that we did. Now we have we have two that are right next to it. It's not the next stitch up. It's 2 over. See, there's one there, that's orange above, and there's 2 to the side. Hopefully you can see that. Alright, so what I'm going to do then, since I need to go up here to the next stitch on the side, I'm going to go ahead and go up like this and actually push it through the stitch to get to the stitch. So there's this one that's right above it that's orange, and I actually kind of push through the middle of the stitch, and then I'm going up above to the next stitch up. Hope I can see that. So now I need to do 2 cross stitches here. So I'm going to go to the opposite corner just like I did before. But since I have 2, I'm going to go ahead and go on the next one as well. Now I'm going to backtrack so I can make my cross. So I go ahead and do my straight line up from the bottom to the top. And one more here. Now I'm just going to kind of put it there for a second so I can look at the next line up. So on the next line up, there's one stitch directly above the far right one. So I'm just going to do one here. So in order to do that, I haven't finished this stitch yet. So I'm going to go ahead and sort of stick the needle through the middle of this stitch so I can go back to the point that I was at here with this stitch. Okay, so I'm going to do the stitch just above this one, so I'm going to go up to the far corner and come back down to the bottom corner and just sort of stick it in there at the top of that corner. So on the next row, I'm having a little trouble seeing through my viewfinder in case you're wondering. So now we have two stitches here that there's an orange above, directly above the last one we did. So there's two stitches to the side. So I'm finishing this one, but what I'm going to do now is come underneath and go across to the other side. I'm going to pull that out because you want it to be loose. And we're going to do just like we did on this row where we do two. So I'm going to go to the opposite corner here, come back down, do it one more time. And then go back again. Okay, and I'm going to wait here and see where my next row is. So we just did these two. Now we have two above it. So we've got an orange one here, but we've got two here. We just did these two. We go up and to the right, the two stitches. So I'm going to finish this one, and then I'm going to go ahead and do what I did before and just go underneath the stitch here so I can start on the next one. So I'm going to go up to the corner here, go down to the bottom. We're doing two again, to the corner, down to the bottom corner, up to the top corner, down the bottom corner. Wait here a second till I see where the next one is. Alright, we've just finished these two. Now there's an orange square directly above the second one here, so we have one here to the far right. Okay, so this time I'm going to have to probably go through the bottom of these two stitches in order to get it over that far. I'm going to kind of go through the stitches this time so it doesn't show too much on the back. Kind of pull the and up. So we're only doing one, so I go up to the top corner, come down, up to the top corner. Okay, let's see where we are now. So we just did this one, now we have two, and the first one is directly above the stitch, and then the next one. So this time I can go straight up to the corner. We're doing two again, so I'm going to go down to the corner and up, down and up, and then down to this corner and up and down, and just hold it there for a second. So we just did these two, now we're going to do these two, and they go directly over to the side. There's like a yellow orange square there, so it's two here. So I'm going to have to do what I did before. I'm going to go ahead and pull it all the way through. Now I'm going to just kind of try and go through these stitches a little bit, because if I just leave it loose back here, then you'll see it all. Now you can see that there are little lines here, and since this is the front of the work, because you want to start with the orange with the right side up V, so you know that's the front of it, that this way you don't have all that stuff hanging off the back like if I did it like you would normally. So I'm going to kind of pull it through back of these two here, and I have to do two more up here. So start at the top and go through on the top, go through, come back over here, back, and then this is the very top row here. So I'm done with that. Now, I wouldn't recommend that you start doing the cross-stitching until you finish the Afghan, because you might run out of room. But if you want, you certainly can do it this way. Then you would just weave in these ends just like I did before. So hopefully you understand what I did, and hopefully this tutorial on how to do tapestry Afghan has been helpful to you. And if you have any comments for me, leave them at the bottom, and I will be sure and get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe. Happy hooking. Bye.